It's Tori's Reading Corner. What kind of book should we read today?
Where do rainbows end? Mickey wonders why. Come on, let's see what's inside. Do you guys remember when we used to look over the table of contents? I'm going to very quickly go over all of the topics that are in this book. How do we know what the weather will be? What are thunder and lightning? Where is rain before it falls? Where do rainbows end? What is wind? What is a tornado? Where does frost come from? What is snow made of? How are icicles made? Why is the sky blue? What is fog? What happens in a drought? And Mickey's mind teaser. Let's get started. How do we know what the weather will be? Because weather scientists have special equipment that can measure all sorts of things we can't see. Scientists can measure how much moisture there is in the air to find out if rain is coming. They have thermometers to tell how hot or cold it is. Even with all their equipment, sometimes scientists still get it wrong. The modern way. Scientists also find out about clouds, storms, and wind speeds from weather satellites. They are special spacecrafts which float around the Earth taking photographs and collecting information or data about the weather. Nature's way. Long ago, people learned that nature gives a lot of clues about the weather. Take your umbrella if you see that pine cones are all closed up, or if cows are lying down in the fields. If the sky is red in the evening, and if crickets are chirping loudly, then don't forget your sunglasses. What are thunder and lightning? They are the sounds and sights of an electric storm. Inside a thundercloud, very strong currents throw ice crystals and water drops around and smash them together. This strong movement fills the crystals and drops with electricity. Electric sparks or lightning shoot through the cloud or flash to the ground. This makes the air so hot it pops like a bursting balloon, making thunder. Take care. Lightning that zigzags to the earth is called fork lightning. It can be dangerous if it hits people, trees, or buildings. Simply shocking. What did the thundercloud say to the lightning? Don't be so flashy. That's funny. Crash, bang, flash facts. You can figure out how far away a storm is by counting the number of seconds between the lightning and the thunder. 5 seconds means a mile. Where is rain before it falls? It is in the clouds. It gets there because warm, moist air rises from the ground, and as it rises, it cools and makes tiny water droplets. Clouds are lots of these water droplets gathered together. Sometimes the little water droplets join up to become
Bigger raindrops.
When their drops become too heavy to stay in the clouds, they fall as rain. Drippy rain facts. Water rises into the air from oceans, lakes, and rivers. People, plants, and animals also give off moisture into the air. Water stays in the air for about 10 days before it falls again as rain or snow. Black and white. Little fluffy clouds don't have much water in them, so they look white. Big, thick clouds are so full of raindrops they look black. That's because no light can shine through them. Where do rainbows end? They don't really end anywhere. In fact, if you were in a plane and looked down at the rainbow, you'd see a circle of color. We see rainbows when the sun shines on falling raindrops. The raindrops reflect the sun's light, which is made of many wonderful colors. As the sunlight passes through the raindrops, it splits up into bands of color. Beautiful colors. The colors of the rainbow are always in the same order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Rainbow magic. In Ireland, people used to say that there was a magic pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. But of course, you can't find the end of a rainbow, so no one will ever know if it's true or not. A colorful surprise. What kind of bow is impossible to tie? You guessed it, a rainbow. So silly. What is wind? Wind is air moving. Sometimes it moves very slowly, and we feel a nice, soft breeze. When it moves more quickly, it can become a gale or even a hurricane. In the strongest winds, air is moving faster than a race car. Wind at work. People have learned to put the wind to work. In California, there are wind farms where thousands of wheels with blades on them spin around. This spinning energy from the wind is turned into electricity. Wild, windy facts. Winds are named for the direction they're coming from. So a wind that comes from the east is called an easterly wind. Monsoons are winds in tropical places that change direction with the season. What is a tornado? It's a dangerous, fast-moving, swirling funnel of wind. Tornadoes start inside huge thunderclouds, and then spinning air moves down from the center of the cloud to the ground. Tornadoes act like a giant vacuum cleaner, sucking things up from the ground and throwing them into the air. Hurricane watch. Hurricanes are tropical storms. They are different from tornadoes because the center of the hurricane, which is called the eye, is calm, but the outside part is very dangerous. Stormy facts. Tornadoes can move as fast as 300 miles per hour. Some have even moved as fast as 500 miles per hour. Hurricanes begin as small thunderstorms over warm seas, then pick up speed. They can move as fast as 220 miles per hour. Very interesting. Where does frost come from? Frost is frozen dew. Dew is little drops of water you sometimes see on leaves and grass. Dew freezes on cold nights when there are no clouds and no wind. If there were clouds, they would act like a blanket, keeping the earth warm. If there were wind, warm and cold air would get mixed up, and it might not get cold enough to make frost. Jack Frost. Long ago, a character called Jack Frost was thought to run his icy fingers over the world and make frost. But we know better. Frosty patterns. The frost that forms on misty windows is called fern frost. Ooh. Frosty facts. Frost can form on airplane wings while planes are flying up high where the air is cold. This can be dangerous, so airplanes have special equipment to get rid of the ice. Long ago, the weather was so much colder in winter than it is now. Rivers froze solid, and people got together and had markets and fairs on the ice. What is snow made of? Crystals of ice. Water vapor in clouds freezes into ice crystals. If it is cold enough, the crystals will fall as snow. If it is not quite freezing, the snow crystals will melt and fall as rain. All snowed up. When a blanket of snow falls, it makes everything look different, clean and new. And it makes everything quieter too. Snow is like a layer of soundproofing material. Pretty crystals. Snowflakes are made of flat crystals. If you looked at a snowflake under a microscope, you would see a six-sided crystal like this one. No two snowflakes ever look the same. Snow, ho, ho, ho. Where do snowmen go to dance? A snowball. That's funny. Snowy things to remember. A blizzard is when it snows and is windy at the same time. Snow that melts slightly as it falls is called sleet. The tallest snowman ever built was nearly 67 feet tall. That's as tall as a 6-story building.
This book was published in 1992. The new world record was set in 2008, 122 feet and 1 inch, or 37.21 meters.
How are icicles made? They are made when the temperature falls and freezes drops of water and snow that had begun to melt. Icy crystals form and stick to each other. Icicles are usually made on nights when it is very, very cold. Icing icicles. In Germany, gingerbread houses are made at Christmas time. The walls are cookies and the windows are candy. And the icicles dripping off the roof are made of icing. These are the kind of icicles you should eat. Frozen flow. Isn't this amazing? When it gets very, very, very cold, even fast-moving waterfalls freeze solid. An icy story. Before refrigerators were invented, farmers used to flood their fields in water and wait for the water to freeze and turn to ice. Then they would cut the ice up into large chunks and took it to the towns. There it was stored in underground ice houses. Now all we have to do is open the refrigerator. Why is the sky blue? The answer to this question is a little tricky. Sunlight is made of all the colors of the rainbow. But when it shines on the atmosphere, the thick blanket of air which surrounds the earth,
Gases in the air bounce mostly blue light toward our eyes.
red sky at night. Sometimes the sky looks red. This happens when the sun is low in the sky and it shines through thick air. All the other colors get soaked up except for red. Colorful sky facts. In countries close to the North and South poles, spectacular colored lights can sometimes be seen in the sky. Do you know what that event is called? Sometimes it's called the Northern Lights. And I think it can also be called the Aurora Borealis. Air doesn't just stop where space begins. It slowly disappears the higher up you go until there is no air left. What is fog? It is a cloud that is close to the ground, and a cloud is a mass of water mist. Fog happens when very damp air settles close to the ground and stays there. There is often fog early in the morning before the sun has had a chance to warm the damp air and make it rise. Smoggy air. Smog happens when the air gets filled up with dust and soot and becomes thick and black and very unhealthy to breathe. Foggy facts. Lights aren't much use in thick fog because they can't be seen clearly. So some lighthouses have sirens and loud foghorns to warn ships if there is danger. What happens in a drought? When it hasn't rained for a long time, the ground gets very dry. All the water that had collected in rivers, lakes, and reservoirs starts to dry up because heat from the sun causes it to rise as vapor. This is called evaporation. If the drought goes on for a long time, even underground water dries up. No water, no food. A drought can be a serious problem for farmers. There is less drinking water for farm animals, and sometimes fields dry up and crops die. Drought emergency. We need water for many things, but when there's a drought, people are asked to help save water. Can you think of ways to use less water? Here are a few ideas to get you started. Don't leave the water running while you brush your teeth. That's a good one. Take quick showers instead of baths. I didn't think of that one. Mickey's Mind Teaser. Only one of these rainbows shows the colors of the rainbow in the correct order. Do you know which one it is? I'm going to give you a hint. Roy G. Biv. Let's see if you got it right. You and your family can decide which was the correct answer. I'll even leave the correct answer in the description. The end. If you enjoyed reading this Mickey Wonders Why book and you want to read more amazing books and stories with us, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Also, check out our channel playlist. Find more of your favorite books and stories today. Can't wait to read with you next time. Bye-bye.
It's Tori's Reading Corner.